Now, for more insight and more discussion about this occasion, about the Long March, we turn to our studio guest today, Mr. Liu Baocheng, our current affairs commentator. Welcome to the program, Mr. Liu. Well, first of all, during the 1 hour and 50 minutes long speech given by President Xi Jinping, what do you think are the key factors or key messages?
I think the key message is conviction and willpower that is really exhibited during the Chinese Long March. And right now, China is developing very quickly, but we are still facing a lot of challenges and pressures both at home and abroad.
Snow mountains and grasslands.
That's right. So now there is a quite level of complacency among the youngsters, and now to remind them of what was the past and who really brought to today's environment. So that's something very important for the sustainable development as a stronger China. And the other is to remind people of the two-century dreams that to double Chinese income and also to realize the political, cultural, and ecological civilization. So and then because we have now more than 80 million Communist Party members, the Long Marchers, they surrendered their blood, their sweat to build a new China. And now, these Communist Party members need to always remember what their predecessors did and what their predecessor was fighting for. So even in front of the economic welfare, in the well-being that is being given by the predecessors, so they need to carry on the spirit to refrain from corruption and to place people's interest always in front of everything.
Well, talking about the spirit of or the faith of the Long March, what exactly sticked those young people? Bear in mind, those were very, very young people in their early 20s or even younger. What stick them together along the route, going through all those unimaginable difficulties, no man's lands, the high altitude snow mountains and the grasslands, and finally completing this long march? What make them complete such an arduous journey?
I think there were three stages that really provide them inspiration. For the first stage, the young people were not happy with what is going on with the China at the moment, because after the fall of the imperial power, the entire China was scarred by both the colonists and also the warlords. And so there were a strong outcry to unify this country and to bring peace and stability to this nation. And so a lot of young people gathered together. They introduced different ideas, and they carried on the Dr. Sun Yat-sen's doctrine. And also now they introduced Karl Marx and the Bolshevik way to rehabilitate China. And then, there was quite a split after the demise of Dr. Sun Yat-sen between within the coalition between the Communist Party and the Kuomintang. And therefore, there was a great exodus. So they were simply running away, from those encirclements and the persecution. That was really comparable to the exodus of the Israelis from Egypt. So, but then, the third stage was really the Japanese invasion that really ignited the whole nation, that we need to regain our national independence, and the Communist Party, and together with the Red Army, they had a clear goal. So they need to maintain China's independence. They need to call on the whole nation to push forward this grand cause. So the Communist Party also surrendered many of those rights, actually, in order to form this coalition again together with the Kuomintang. So, and of course, overall, after all the across all the three stages, it is the communist ideal. Right. So we need to build what was at that time termed the utopia, but the communism, to have equal rights, to have a stable society and peaceful life for people. So that's something that those people were so much convicted to go for.
Well, they believed that they were actually marching toward a better world. Then this is a completely different world now. Should we just consider the Long March as a great story and that's all?
Well, I think they were not only really marching for the better world as the Moses leading the Israelites, so it was not them to seek for better life, but they were there, the saviors for the whole nation, to bring a better life for this entire nation. So which really suffered a great deal under the colonization, under the warlord split, separation, and also under the feudal system of the Qing Emperor.
What's the significance carrying on the spirit of Long March now in the modern world?
I think in the modern world, people need devotion. Right now, the whole world is really split with different conceptions, different ideas. There has been too much dissatisfaction with what is going on. But thinking of the 80 years ago, when China was such a difficult time, and as long as you really have the idea, have the willpower, you can really overcome a number of challenges that you think that might be impossible. And then, despite of all the efforts, despite of all the contribution given by the Communist Party, and there's also been dissatisfaction over the governance, etc. Of course, there's some reason because certain Communist Party members were corrupt, but the Communist Party as a whole, as a collective leadership, is still legitimate enough to lead this nation to move forward for the China dream.
Right. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Liu Baocheng, our current affairs commentator.